the Advanced Practicum and Apprenticeship in Community Building, Class 4, Integrating Mind-Body Mastery into Your Community of Spirit. Hello, I'm Jim Morningstar, Director of Transformations and your guide through this 8-session Advanced Practicum and Apprenticeship in Community Building. The focus of this 4th class is integrating mind-body learning and practice into what you are embodying and sharing with the communities in your world. We will do an inventory of the themes programmed into your body-mind during the 6 critical developmental periods in your life and address the challenges and gifts of each of your themes. We will further look at the responsibilities of spiritual psychology teachers in supporting harmony and growth in their teaching and life communities. Let's start with exploring who we are as embodied teachers of spiritual psychology with a guided meditation. I'll ask you to get yourself comfortably seated with your spine relatively straight and let your eyes close. Now, as you inhale, bring the energy from the base of your spine up the back to the top of your head. On the exhale, let the energy come down the front of your body, returning to the base of your spine, forming a cocoon of light in which you can feel safe. Continue breathing up your back and down your front. This time, all the way to the bottom of your feet, suggesting that you're holding your entire physical body in the nurturing medium of your love, and that it responds with greater ease and relaxation with each breath. Continue enclosing your entire body in your circle of breath. Pay attention to each part of your body as your breath and focus passes over it. Let your awareness become increasingly acute and notice any part of your body that seems to call for your attention, perhaps because of the sensations in it, the emotions in it, or even the thoughts that it evokes. Now see if you can do this without judgment, just being a loving observer. Now let your attention and breath go to whatever part of your body that seems to call for them. Trust that wherever you land is right for now. Begin to breathe more deeply into that part of your body and listen to its vibration. Feel its texture. Sense its emotional state, all without judgment. Assume that this part of your body has got your attention because it has a message to convey to you from your guidance. Now, as you continue to breathe and hold this part of your body in love, hear the message that comes to you from your spirit. This message could be in words, but may well not be. It might come in the form of a sensation, a mood, an intuition, or just an indescribable sense. It is important that you take whatever comes and not try to make something recognizable to your mind out of it. It could even be a sense of nothingness or blankness. Do not let your mind dismiss it. Just breathe and listen. If you are accepting and attentive, you may open the doors to a rapport with your body that you have not previously known. With patience and time, even vague stirrings can initiate a deeper level of communication that eventually makes sense to your heart and even your mind. Now thank that part of your body and keep open to future connection with that and all parts of your body that call to you. Suggest further that you keep your heart and your mind open to a deeper rapport with your body during this class and the ensuing month, which leads to a greater experience of being and living the love you are in every aspect of your existence. Now, with a few deep and clearing breaths, come back with a willingness to more and more see and feel your body with love. Body-mind practices in holistic communities of spirit. The structure of our communities of spirit in this course is based on the principles of spiritual psychology. As I have stated, what distinguishes one community from another are its common intentions, common practices, and common experiences. Simply put, our intentions are to live in the unity of one spirit. The practice of breath work is the major bonding tool we use to both heal and release ourselves to grow in the consciousness of the one spirit. Our common experience is in sharing our classes, practices, and communication regularly with one another in our time together. Breathwork is not the only tool we use, but one of the most powerful and incisive for both healing and growth at this stage of human evolution. At this holistic level of evolution in which our communities of spirit are pioneering, humans turn their attention to the problem of restoring a disturbed universe. Now, this is beyond just individual survival or peer group survival. They see how human knowledge to this point has often served to disrupt ecological balance. They become concerned with developing an ethic based on a knowledge of cosmic reality, not merely humans' egocentristic desires. They now seek to restore harmony and perpetuate existence for its own sake. To accomplish this, they set out to develop their powers of truly recognizing the magnificence of existence. They develop a genuine acceptance for the way things are and let their behavior be guided by that which will promote growth in each particular situation. They have a more holistically detached point of view rather than the scientific, quotes, objectivity of prior paradigms, which was colored by unconscious survival needs. They recognize the interdependence of all beings and affix less attachment to any one mode of existence or set of values. Their faith is in the unfolding of being rather than in any one means by which this is brought about. Learning at this level takes place through a whole person apprehension of each situation. More than the acquisition of intellectual information, Learning at this point takes on an experiential quality of realization with one's entire being. The integration of lower and higher centers, or chakras, that began in the past few decades in human potential movement is brought to a point of integration such that the systems involved in these centers appear to operate more as a total unit or gestalt. Individuals take in the whole situation with their full complement of abilities working as one, far greater than the sum of their individual parts. Learning here is particularized to each set of circumstances. If the situation calls for a more authoritative response, then an authoritative response ensues. If the situation calls for a more democratic approach, then a democratic response follows. Now, this may be seen as quite inconsistent by survival level standards, but a holistic person is able to encompass all the subsistence systems and integrate their functioning into a much broader plan while remaining in integrity. When accomplished with yielding compassion, holistic consciousness individuals respond with their entire beings to promote the harmony of existence. Individuals here, as in prior consciousness levels before, have acquired emotional traumas, neurotic response patterns, and blocks to free release of energies of every step along their developmental path. Now, helping to overcome these barriers at this holistic level, however, takes on a new dimension, the dimension of more integrated consciousness that encompasses and transcends the separate functioning of all lower systems. Therapeutic breathwork, facilitated by breathworkers who have done their own internal work, provides a medium for clients ready for higher integration to tap into areas of bound energy, whether through trauma or suppression, with an open systems approach. Breathworkers help set the stage for release by the openness of their own system. They provide a framework intellectually and emotionally for the breathworkees to explore deeper states, and they give them the tools to activate their higher systems appropriately. When the client's energies are released, the breathworkers help them integrate and ground them during and after the session, as well as offering tools for integration between sessions. The interactive presence of the breathworker becomes more than just a model of integration. It's a magnetic force field that interacts with that of the client in a healing dance that will continue to grow in the client's life as they now have a tool with which to transform challenges into opportunities with breath and conscious, loving application. In our communities, we most often offer breathwork individually or in group during our teaching seminars or in between seminar sessions. We provide opportunities for members to integrate deep-level processing through group sharing, whether in person or virtually. Other mind-body approaches are also very useful at this stage of our growth and have been highly instrumental in my personal evolution. In the Body Mastery seminar of the Creative Life series, for example, we extensively study through experiential exercises the body as an energy-conducting system, the body as a means of communication, and the body as a product of our thoughts. We look to bridge the Descartesian mind-body separation and restore the continuity of spirit in all levels of our existence. Body themes and breathwork. Now, one of the innovations that therapeutic breathwork brings into the field of conscious connected breathing is the bioenergetic study of developmental stages of body-mind growth in the first 6 years of human life. At each developmental stage in the first 6 years of our life, we pass pivotal points in our physical and characterological growth. Now, the inner decisions we reach and structured defenses we take on regarding our safety, abundance, autonomy, freedom of expression, gender identity, and intimacy can stay with us as holding patterns in our body and breath throughout our life. They become our default mode when under stress and can deplete our aliveness and block our growth when operating unconsciously on a daily basis. So being able to read these patterns can be a tremendous asset for breath workers in coaching a breath release and recovery of the energies co-opted by unintegrated patterns. Specific exercises are used for each theme to both facilitate integration and prevent re-traumatization during a session. Theme 1, Psychic Sensitive. This theme begins formation with the breath of the parents at conception and eventuates with the first breath we take after birth, and then continues as the infant learns about safety and danger in their world during the first year of life. The psychic sensitive breath is anchored in the first root chakra at the base of the spine. Research is showing that the fetus is already practicing breathing movements in utero before the formal use of their lungs. Now, this theme addresses the question, am I safe, welcome, and wanted here? How I answer this question begins with my experience of conception, life in utero, the birth process, and my experiences after birth. My answer is energetic, not intellectual. It is translated into my physical nervous system and cellular structure. The body theme that portrays one's basic sense of safety and groundedness is called psychic sensitive. When this first period is highly stressful, a pattern can develop in the body exemplified as holding together against fear of being hurt, or in the extreme, fear of annihilation. This leads to living outside of the body, or mostly in the mind. Their belief becomes, I'm not safe in my body or the world. And their defense becomes, I'm a free spirit, unattached to the world. The breath is frozen in fear, and the body looks fragmented. When holding patterns and traumas are released, flow and balance are restored, and the compensatory defenses of escape from the body to other realms become integrated into strengths of sensitivity and artistry that are treasures to our world. Many of the world's most prominent artists and theoreticians have displayed integrated psychic sensitive themes. Breathwork that is tuned into the challenges of taking in a full inhale and does not force, overwhelm, or re-traumatize the psychic sensitive's nervous system helps restore the sacred gift of fully owning the breath of existence. The body is then grounded, walks safely on earth, and the first chakra, the energy center that is vital in maintaining physical existence and groundedness on earth, is restored to full vibrancy. Now, focusing on your first chakra, as a ball of red light at the base of your spine, we will take 25 connected breaths through the nose or mouth. Now, if you're highly psychic sensitive, then you may want to take them through your nose. Then say out loud, I'm alive, I am real, I am, and then say your name. I am going to say, I am Jim. The connected breath will look like this. We draw in on the inhale and relax on the exhale without pause. Okay, now let's take these 25 connected breaths together in the first chakra. Now say together, I am alive, I am real, I am, say your name, I am Jim. Own the first sacred gift of the breath of existence. Now take Class 4, Handout 1, Body Themes, and in Section 1, Psychic Sensitive, complete A. I often do not feel safe when. B. How I experience this fear in my body is. And C. How I help my body feel more safe is. Complete this and come back to the video. Theme 2, Empathetic Nurturing, begins formation during the first year of life, when the child's needs are expressed without words. Are these needs tended to, or are the parental figures so involved in trying to meet their own needs that the child's are secondary? If so, for survival, the child learns to read and respond to the needs of the parent in order to get their own needs met. They become empathetic for their own survival. In answer to the question, do I have the right to have? In other words, is there enough for me? They develop a pattern that if I love enough, I will be loved. Or, if that does not work, they can defensively adopt the belief, I'm self-sufficient. Their body takes on the posture of a collapsed chest and a shallow inhale, which reinforces that they never do get enough life energy. They grow up fast to become the caretaker of others, so they might be fed. Their second chakra is underdeveloped, and their capacity to play, dance, enjoy their feelings, and sexuality is compromised, leading to periods of collapse and a sense of abandonment. All this is largely unconscious and reflexive, even into adult life. The body theme that portrays one's basic sense of enoughness is called empathetic nurturing. When their experience has been one of lack, a pattern in the body develops of holding on against loss and deprivation. The breath is shallow, and the body looks needy. When holding patterns and traumas are released, fullness and resilience are restored, and the compensatory defenses of empathy out of neediness become integrated into strengths of true ability and joy in nurturing others without depleting oneself. Breathwork that helps the empathetic nurturer fill themselves with a full complement of air and sustaining it without collapsing, such that they connect with the true source within them, restores the sacred gift of the breath of abundance. The body is light yet strong, is warm and approachable, exuding a confidence of inner nurturing, and the second chakra is restored to full flowing sensuality. Now, focusing on your second chakra as a ball of orange light midway between your navel and the base of your spine, we will take 25 connected breaths through the nose or mouth. Again, if you're highly empathetic nurturing, then you may want to take them through the nose. Then say out loud, I do enough, I have enough, I am enough. Let's take these 25 connected breaths together. I do enough, I have enough, I am enough. Own the second sacred gift of the breath of abundance. Take Class 4, Handout 1, Body Themes, and in Section 2, Empathetic Nurturing, complete A, I often do not feel like I am or have enough when. B, how I experience this lack in my body is. And C, how I help my body feel it is enough is. Complete this and come back to the video. Theme 3, Inspirational Leader, is anchored in the third chakra at the solar plexus. It begins formation around 18 months of age when the child begins to move around on their own into the 4th year of life. Is the child's desire to move about on their own in their environment safely supported? Or are they overpowered by parental will or manipulated by using their feelings to emotionally control them? If so, the child eventually learns to rise above their feelings and to vie for power with threat or their own manipulation. They become willful for their own survival. In answer to the question, do I have the right to be free from overpowering or manipulative needs of others, they develop a pattern of to give in to feeling is weak. And they defensively adopt the belief, I'm in control. Their body takes on one of two postures. The first is of upwardly displaced energy, with their upper body inflated and a controlling gaze. Or they adopt a more seductively controlling style, with more even body proportions. Relationships become a power struggle for who is one up. Their third chakra is overdeveloped, and their capacity to let down and enjoy their feelings is diminished, leading to always having to be on or in charge. These patterns can carry on over into adult life. This body theme that portrays one's basic sense of self-empowerment is called inspirational leader. When their experience has been one of being overpowered or seduced, a pattern in the body develops as one of holding up against the fear of vulnerability. The breath is held on the inhale, and there is difficulty in surrendering to a free exhale. The body looks tense and forceful on the outside, or superficially engaging, but guarded on the inside. When holding patterns and traumas are released, their feelings and vulnerability are integrated, and their leadership qualities demonstrate the head and the heart working together. They are able to let down and take in as appropriate, to lead from the heart and enjoy their relationships rather than manage them. Breathwork helps the inspirational leader relax on their exhale and let their heart open without fear of being controlled. They can enjoy sharing their feelings because the sacred gift of the breath of harmony in relationships and with the world is restored. The body displays its strength and attractiveness in an integrated way. Their true identity and sense of safe power emanating from the third chakra is restored to a brilliant beacon of radiant energy. Now, focusing on your third chakra as a ball of yellow light in your solar plexus, we will take 25 connected breaths through the nose or mouth, then say out loud, "I am safe in my vulnerability and my power." Let's take these 25 connected breaths together. I am safe in my vulnerability and my power. Own the third sacred gift of the breath of harmony. Now, take Class 4, Handout 1, Body Themes, and in Section 3, Inspirational Leader, complete A. I often feel controlled or manipulated by others when. B. How I experience these feelings in my body is. And C. How I help my body feel self-empowered is. Complete this and come back to the video. Theme 4, Steadfast Supportive, is anchored in the fourth chakra, in the heart center. The seed of the body theme begins in the second to the fourth year of life. But the mature chakra begins formation around the fourth year of age, when the child begins to differentiate and moderate their feeling states and continues into the seventh year of life. Is the child's growing abilities to know and express their likes and dislikes supported? Or are they taught only to feel and express in the approved way of the parents, and thereby develop a good me, bad me persona accordingly? Love becomes linked with approval, and the child learns to suppress what feelings are not okay with the parents or other significant figures in their life. They can be controlled by guilt and shame, which they eventually internalize to continually control themselves against their own impulses, feeling the ongoing pressure of the question, do I have the right to act on my feelings? A struggle between the adopted good me and bad me selves. They develop an attitude that no one appreciates me. No one knows how much I suffer. And they can defensively adopt the belief, my struggle is noble. Their body takes on a squashed appearance due to the musculature continually holding in. This is often reflected in the early toilet training habits of holding in the, quotes, bad things at all costs for fear of being shamed. Their fourth chakra is constricted, and their capacity to freely enjoy and express their feelings is under pressure, leading to always being in inner conflict. This body theme that portrays one's basic sense of self-respect is called steadfast supportive. When their experience has been one of being squashed by shame or guilt, for example, I shouldn't feel angry or sad or scared or even too happy, a pattern in the body develops as one of holding in against the fear of disapproval and a resulting lack of self-respect. The breath is held out on the inhale, and there's difficulty in releasing a complete exhale. The body looks under pressure with a thick neck, pelvis tucked in, waist short and thick. When holding patterns and traumas are released, their good me and bad me split becomes integrated through self-acceptance into the authentic me. They can then express their love with a variety of feelings directly rather than passive-aggressively or as a victim. Their loyalty and ability to stick with projects is no longer out of fear of disapproval, but genuine love because they can set and respect their own boundaries. Breathwork helps those with the steadfast supportive theme release their exhale and let their expression be authentic and appropriate without fear of being shamed by others or themselves. They can enjoy sharing their heartfelt relationships because the sacred gift of the breath of freedom of feeling is restored. The body is solid, enduring, yet tender and huggable. Their authentic expression of love and self-respect emanating from the fourth chakra is restored to a vibrant, welcoming glow. Focusing on your fourth chakra as a ball of green light in your heart area, we will take 25 connected breaths through the nose or mouth, then say out loud, I feel and express my feelings lovingly and authentically. Let's take these 25 connected breaths together. I feel and express my feelings lovingly and authentically. Own the fourth sacred gift of the breath of freedom of feeling. Now take Class 4, Handout 1, Body Themes, and in Section 4, Steadfast Supportive, complete A. I often do not feel free to express my feelings when B. How I experience this restriction in my body is, and C. How I help my body feel free to express authentic feelings is. Complete this and come back to the video. Theme 5, Gender Balanced, is anchored in the fifth chakra, in the throat center. The seed of the body theme begins in the 3rd to the 5th year of life, but the mature chakra development begins formation around the 7th year of age, when the child is filled up energetically and emotionally. At this stage, there is a desire to move that energy forward into creativity, into the act of giving something back or making one's own offering to the world. The ability to make this offer and to be appreciated for it is essential for maintaining a strong sense of self. The child's thinking now operates on a more symbolic level, showing creativity and more abstract thinking, which continues to develop into the 12th year of life. This is a period of expansion, experimentation, and creativity. Here it is important to support the child's natural curiosity and creativity. It's also important to model healthy forms of communication. When one's desire to speak and share is not supported or is threatening to important figures in their world, the question, do I have the right to speak, becomes a point of fear and frustration. Since this is also the period during which children are solidifying their gender identity, if the way the male expresses himself is a threat to his father, for example, and is severely challenged, he can take on a more soft, feminine way of expressing, not just vocally, but with his whole body. He becomes split. His exterior is rounded and his expression compliant, while his inner core is more rigid. His assertiveness can come out indirectly as sarcasm or otherwise passively. If the female child's expression of her femininity is a threat and challenge, she may adapt a more masculine, assertive expression for protection. Her body is split, with the upper body having a jaw set in defiance of male authority, while her lower body being more soft and weak. Both male and female develop an attitude of, my authentic expression as a male or female is invalid. And their adaptive stance leads them to affirm, my learned assertion is safer than others of my gender. Individual males may naturally have a greater balance of feminine energy, and individual females may naturally have a greater balance of masculine energy. The operative element at this stage is how much of their natural expression is supported or suppressed. This and the next stage of development are transitional between childhood and adulthood, and they can display holding patterns that include the holding together, holding on, holding up, and holding in of the prior stages, as well as the holding back of the next stage. Their fifth chakra is constricted, and their capacity to freely express as a creative male or female is stunted. The body theme, which portrays one's basic sense of creative self-expression, is called gender balanced. When their natural expression has been compromised, their breath is also out of balance. The goal in breath work with this theme is to release the splits and holding patterns in both the inhale and exhale, to bring the body and mind into the rhythms that are natural and true to their spirit. When holding patterns and traumas are released, they are able to express both their male and female qualities with a harmony and balance that give them the best of both worlds, rather than being polarized into the stereotypes of cultural gender identities. Their balanced expression of yin and yang emanating from the fifth chakra is restored to a clear, melodious tone. Focusing on your fifth chakra as a ball of blue light in your throat area, we will take 25 connected breaths through the nose or mouth and say out loud, I am an attractive, loving man or woman, and I express my life energy fully, freely, and pleasurably. Let's take these 25 connected breaths together. I am an attractive, loving man or woman, and I express my life energy fully, freely, and pleasurably. Own the fifth sacred gift of the breath of creative expression. Now take Class 4, Handout 1, Body Themes, and in Section 5A, Gender Balanced, complete A. I often do not feel like I can express myself well as a man or woman when. B. How I experience this restriction in my body is, and C, how I help my body feel authentic in expressing as a man or woman is. Complete this and come back to the video. The second phase of Theme 5, Gender Balanced, is anchored in the sixth chakra, in the center between the eyebrows. The seed of this body theme begins in the 3rd to the 5th year of life, but the mature chakra development formation begins in the period of adolescence, when the child is developing the ability to recognize patterns and apply them to life decisions. The stage where imagination helps the child develop symbolic conceptions of the world. This is the period of re-examining one's social identity. There may be a dawning interest in spiritual matters, mythology, or symbolism, whether through music, lyrics, popular movie icons, or the latest fashion styles with peers. This is the stage of forming ideals, and when this process is not supported or manipulated by important figures in their world, the question, do I have the right to see the truth, can become polarized into fanaticism or rebellion. This is the second phase of the transition from childhood to adulthood and moves from gender identity to the formation of archetypical identity, whose interest is self-reflection. The splits at this stage may be reflected in an awkwardness in growing from the child body to the adult body, and one's self-image is changing rapidly. Again, they can display the holding patterns that include the holding together, holding on, holding up, holding in at the prior stages, as well as the holding back of the last stage. Their sixth chakra, if constricted or manipulated, can result in tunnel vision of one right or wrong way to be, or feeling without identity in an amorphous state. This body theme, which portrays one's basic sense of identity versus role confusion, is the second transitional phase of the gender balanced. When their natural development has been compromised, their breath reflects their imbalance. The goal in breath work with this theme is the balancing of the upper and lower, inner and outer, and is supported through balancing upper energy centers or chakras with lower, and between inner spiritual life and outer manifestation, cultivating assertiveness, sensitivity, directness, and equality rather than deference or narrow-mindedness. The capacity to witness the false identities commonly displayed in culture with the spiritual insight of seeing the true being of light behind them, while having the compassion to accept both, the art of holy vision, is just beginning to develop at this stage. When holding patterns and traumas are released, their combined male-female strengths allow them an integrative perspective that brings their talents to bear in technological as well as interpersonal problem solving. Their restored sixth chakra emanates insightful, balanced vision, which beholds and reflects the beauty in the whole dance of life. Focusing on your sixth chakra as a ball of indigo light in your third eye area between your eyebrows, we'll take 25 connected breaths through the nose or mouth, and then say out loud, I witness the truth and beauty of all being. Let's take these 25 connected breaths together. I witness the truth and the beauty of all being. Own the sixth sacred gift of the breath of holy vision. Take Class 4, Handout 1, Body Themes, and in Section 5B, Gender Balanced, complete A. I often do not feel I can see the truth and beauty of life when. B. How I experience this confusion in my body is. And C. How I help my body see and feel the truth and the beauty of life is. Complete this and come back to the video. Theme 6, Energetic Grounded, is anchored in the 7th chakra, in the center at the top of the head. The seed of this body theme begins in the 4th to the 6th year of life, but the mature chakra begins formation in the period of adulthood, when the individual is beginning to form a worldview and to awaken to spiritual pursuits. Now is the period of developing a universal identity, which is found in the core of the awakened self through self-knowledge. True intimacy on the interpersonal level, as well as the spiritual, requires an integration of all the chakras and the qualities they represent. If wounding and rejection occurs with the maturation of one's evolving sexuality, and there's a split between the heart and the genitals, that is, one's sexual expression is rejected and must be suppressed in order to be given love, then the child can take on an armoring in the heart area while shuttling energy into the mental and lower body areas. This can produce energy for outward success in worldly endeavors, but precludes mature long-term intimacy. This energetic grounded theme takes on a rigid but high energy stature, armored, stiff back and bright eyes, and their characteristic belief becomes, no one is going to hurt me again. They can be quite successful and competitive in all areas but affairs of the heart. They might be quite knowledgeable in many subjects, but as long as their heart is blocked, they do not achieve an integrated wisdom which allows them to fully develop intimacy in interpersonal or spiritual relationships. The 7th chakra is largely concerned with the search for meaning, asking questions about the nature of life, the universe, and the self within. The basic right in question is, do I have the right to know true love and spiritual fulfillment? Their body theme, when split, exemplifies the pattern of holding back against the fear of surrender to the deeper currents of life, love, sexuality, cosmic longing. When their natural longings have been thwarted or denied, their breath reflects their imbalance. The breathwork goal for the energetic grounded is to experience being loved and appreciated for oneself, and to relax and play in order to experience real contact with others. The goals further include to integrate inhale and exhale, softening their armoring to unite love and sexuality, and to feel safe in being vulnerable with others. When their holding back patterns and traumas are released, they're attractive, alert, capable, healthy, and open to deeper intimacy. Their restored 7th chakra emanates unifying and integrating energy, encompassing the physical and spiritual aspects of their being. Focusing on your 7th chakra as a ball of purple light extending both within and above your head, we'll take 25 connected breaths through the nose or mouth, and then say out loud, I open my heart fully to the love of all. Let's take these 25 connected breaths together. I open my heart fully to the love of all. Open the seventh sacred gift of the breath of intimacy on all levels. Now take Class 4, Handout 1, Body Themes, and in Section 6, Energetic Grounded, complete A. I often do not feel I can surrender to love in my life when B. How I experience this block in my body is, and C. How I help my body surrender more fully to love in my life is. Complete this and come back to the video. Now, these stages of body themes and 7 chakras generally cycle through an individual's life in their first 20 years. Anodea Judith, in Eastern Body, Western Mind, describes what may come next. Chakra development during childhood is relatively unconscious. Adult development, by contrast, is largely conscious. We have to want to develop, or it may not happen at all. For many people, adult chakra development never occurs, as they remain in dependency and powerlessness and never break from their programmed instinctual patterns. They may never have spiritual cravings and may never discover the potential of their higher selves. As the process of awakening is often fraught with challenge and difficulty, who is to say whether they are better off or worse off? But for those of us who are unsatisfied with the script given and who long for something greater, there is a second round of personal evolution through the chakras. I characterize the first round of development as the survival level. I see the second round as more conscious and aware. Claire Graves, the psychologist pioneer in researching levels of consciousness, called this the cognitive level. I call it holistic. I believe, as he does, there is a never-ending growth potential beyond our current dreams. But I venture that the level after holistic will be even more heart-centered and intuitive. Energy, time, and space will not be linear or based on the model of force, but will be more magnetic and instantaneous as love is. Therapeutic breathwork since the 1980s has focused on our current transition from survival to holistic levels and helps detail the common stages of body and energy-centered development, with both healing and trauma recovery techniques for each stage, as well as maintenance breathing techniques for each body theme and chakra, and the pathway to whole self expansion and growth. Take Class 4, Handout 2, Spiritual Psychology Teacher Breathworker, and in Section 1, My Body Theme, complete A. The body theme or themes with which I most identify is B. The challenges and gifts of this body theme or themes which resonate with me are, and C. My goals for bringing forth the gifts of this body theme or themes for me are. Complete this and come back to the video. What are the responsibilities of a spiritual psychology teacher and breathworker? A teacher of spiritual psychology who is also a trained breathworker helps clients get beyond reacting as victims of life circumstances. The scientific part of this approach is to find behavioral and emotional patterns which lead to predictable results and to assist students in redirecting these patterns. To have these changes be more than situational, it's necessary to uncover core belief structures which shape students' realities. This, of course, is an art as well as a science. Employing our intuition, empathy, and sense of timing, as well as observational skills, and theoretical approaches. The ineffable missing element, however, without which all the empathy, understanding, and technique will not suffice, is the student's deep sense of purpose. The ability to inspire this is perhaps the spiritual psychology teacher's greatest gift, although it too is not sufficient. To pretend that spiritual psychology teachers are neutral technicians of healthy living principles does an insidious disservice to students and communities. It promotes the illusion of value-free teaching rather than value-honest leadership. This highlights the potentially uncomfortable position that spiritual psychology teachers can be in. Their values affect those they treat and the community in which they serve. This is not only true when they are directly in public view, it's also true in the more subtle standard they bear as teachers who bring troubled community members into more functional balance from people of all social classes and standing. Seeing themselves as a moral paragon or enlightened is rightly repugnant to all. But to deny their values and their influence is equally irresponsible. How do they sort this out and ethically conduct a practice in such a pluralistic society? Keeping out of trouble by trying to stay safely within the limits of current codes of behavior is reactive and ultimately defenseless. What is an empowering, proactive stance that does not require being a public crusader? Know thyself is a pithy yet powerful rejoinder for all in the helping professions. If a spiritual psychology teacher knows their values, they can responsibly communicate them and dialogue with their students, clients, and community. This can result in either an appropriate referral or collaboration when their values are sufficiently different to be of disservice to the subjects or clients. It can also lead to a more effective intervention in circumstances that are laden with conflicting societal realities. For example, doing breath work with a teenager and cooperating with their doctor who's prescribing psychotropic medications that their parents insist upon. The spiritual psychology teacher sees, quotes, reality as a medium for creating rather than a source of limitation, and it has 4 distinct levels. Translated into their work as breath workers, they help their clients deal with, first, challenging daily events, chronic patterns of behavior, underlying positive and negative belief systems, and personal life purpose. Breathworkers who focus just on life events and patterns of behavior may heighten a client's awareness. An inevitable frustration ensues for clients, however, who can see their patterns and even predict their cycles, but are unaware of the deeper structures which keep them in place. Breathworkers who are aware enough of their own belief systems are able to help their clients unearth self-limiting mental models held in place by their unresolved emotional and behavioral reactions. They then can help clients choose and transplant new foundational principles with the sensitivity of a gardener, helping to tend to and celebrate new growth. As exciting as this may be for both breathworker and client, it too may lack the juice to inspire clients to self-direct and flourish. They know how to change, but not why they are changing. Having the courage to unearth and tap into their own purpose, breathworkers cannot guarantee their clients will, nor can they have them feed off their purpose long before they both burn out. They can create the medium for clients to explore their own whys for living, go through their dark night of the soul, and emerge with their light in their time. This, of course, is truly rewarding and one of those perks that keep spiritual psychology teachers being breath workers. Now, even this ability to inspire can lead to disillusionment if we do not help clients go through all of the stages of their own self-awareness, including a working mastery of their patterns and underlying beliefs. This means teaching the tools to self-search and championing their courage to challenge structures of fear and limitation as a lifelong mission. This requires an unflinching commitment to the truth, a willingness to challenge internal and external systems that inhibit taking full responsibility of their life and their membership in their communities. This is not becoming a crusader or a true believer, but rather a purposeful, connected student and teacher of meaningful life values. Spiritual psychology teachers deal with the why to live, not just the how to live. The outmoded arbitrary division relegating the whys to religion and the hows to science has long since shown its ineffectiveness and subsequent moral erosion. Spiritual psychology teachers are called, I believe, to take the lead in admitting what they value, rather than being in denial and communicating unrealistic ideals, that is, the neutral human or the above-it-all guru. Their ethical values may include respect for autonomy, non-maleficence, that is, avoiding harm, beneficence, justice, fidelity, and veracity. They must know and understand their values and be honest with the creative tension between that to which they aspire and how they currently operate. This is a more realistic leadership model for our current world of advertising hype or cynical disbelief in anything spiritual. Theirs is not to impose answers, but to help an honest, soul-searching inquiry into our purpose as humans, living in an evolving, diverse, sometimes scary, yet creative world. Take Class 4, Handout 2, Spiritual Psychology Teacher Breathworker, and in Section 2, Spiritual Psychology Teacher Breathworker, complete A. My purpose as a spiritual psychology teacher breathworker is B. My challenges as a spiritual psychology teacher breathworker are, and C. My gifts as a spiritual psychology teacher breathworker are, and D. My goals as a spiritual psychology teacher breathworker are. Complete this and come back to the video. Let's review our homework for Class 4 on Handout 3, Homework for Class 4. 1. Journaling Sentence Stem. Daily write in your own journal and or on our class email thread. A way I grew in body-mind integration today is 2. Breath practice. Do the daily circular breath exercises up your back and down the front of your body and listen to the voice of your guides and guidance about your body-mind integration. For extra credit to yourself, you may choose to make notes in your journal or on the class email thread. 3. Community connection. Intend spiritual connectedness each day for all of our class presently or in the future as the community of spirit grows. Have a positive intention for your interaction as a teacher of spiritual psychology each day. Share the work of your class handouts with a trusted, supportive companion who will understand and champion your goals. Do this with someone in this course if possible. 4. Daily practice. Do some form of mind-body practice, no matter how brief or long, in the morning. For example, yoga, breathwork, tai chi, walking in nature. And in the evening, before you go to bed. For example, meditative breathing, stretching, water cleansing in the shower. A brief journaling around this is useful to reinforce progress, as long as the journaling is positive in intent. I encourage you again to share your awarenesses and progress with another supportive human, someone in this course if possible. The more we share and reinforce each other's progress, the more we learn from each other, the more exponentially we grow and enhance our world. Anyone feeling the calling to be a community builder, spiritual psychology teacher, and/or breath worker, contact me for information. It has been my life work as an aspiring spiritual psychologist to investigate all forms of conscious growth. I examine and experiment with what is being presented by others from ancient traditions and new discoveries. I then retain for the School of Integrative Psychology those skills and practices which provide the most lasting, grounded results. Then it takes fitting the appropriate techniques to the student or client at the right time to facilitate his or her empowerment. Spiritual, for me, signifies coming from the undefined spirit or animating force of life. Religious signifies a particular body of teaching or dogma about the origins of existence and/or living according to a prescribed moral standard. Some very, quote, spiritual, in my definition, although not religious, students and clients have been atheists or agnostic. That is, they have a profound respect for the individual point of view, the sacredness of life itself. There are also many religious people who are open to integrate many forms of spiritual practice and respond very well to spiritual psychology and breathwork. Many students come for personal healing and are in a transition point in their lives. They're looking for an environment to foster self-knowledge, forgiveness, and the joy of finding a path to their true heart's desire, rather than someone else's formula for a happy life. They are people who do well with spiritual psychology and breathwork. The Creative Life series, taught by spiritual psychology teachers as an example, fosters intense inner exploration for a small group of students over a 6-month period. Not everyone is willing to take on this level of challenge, but those who commit themselves to a course of spiritual psychology have been almost universally grateful and permanently changed. Personal and professional are very interrelated aspects of a holistic perspective. It is common that spiritual psychology students make a career shift based on greater clarity and a sense of personal purpose, as well as confidence in achieving their life goals. The prevalence and success of this work in the School of Integrative Psychology since 1980 attests to spiritual psychology's coming of age in our world community. I feel highly blessed to know and support the growing numbers of brothers and sisters who are building these communities around our planet. Holding you in my heart as fellow travelers on the road home, I send and receive blessings for our circle and all sentient beings till next class. Blessings in light and love.